Hi, my name is Ricardo Chinchilla, and I am an APS student at the Conservatory of Music. Today, guys, I want to talk to you about the trumpet and its role in the orchestra. Trumpet is one of the loudest instruments in the orchestra, and I'm not saying that just because I play trumpet, but it's because trumpet pitch-wise is the highest in the brass family, making it one of the most dominant instruments in the orchestra. Although this comes at a price, if trumpet is not executed properly, can sound very not appealing to the ear. It can sound very ugly. So through fundamentals and technique, we achieve a great sound. And today we're going to be talking about that, as well as sound production and some of the components that can help us change the color of the trumpet through our journey in orchestra. Before we keep talking about trumpet technique, I want to make a brief introduction to the history of trumpet. Trumpet traces all the way back to the 1500s before Christ and is seen in many ancient civilizations, such as ancient Egypt, some Scandinavian countries, and even Central Asia. We can find trumpet-alike instruments that were used through the time. Through the Middle Ages, trumpet was introduced to metal and became a metal instrument through the military. And then through the Renaissance, became a single coil tube that was called natural trumpet and was only able to produce overtones. Through the time, people got more curious and creative, and they started to mess with the trumpet so it could have more notes and be more chromatic. So they added holes, they added crooks that are like tuning slides that help change the key of the trumpet in order to produce different notes. Eventually, keys like saxophones were added, and that evolved to rotaries, and eventually it evolved to pistons, and as a result we have what we call a modern trumpet. It's important to remember that there's two different wraps of trumpet. This is what they will call a French wrap because it has pistons, while the German traditional wrap has rotary valves. In orchestra, we're mainly going to be using three different trumpets. We're going to be using the B-flat trumpet, the C trumpet, and the piccolo trumpet. And you may ask, what is the difference between these trumpets? Well, between these two, besides the fact that they're in different keys, the C trumpet presents a little more of a brighter sound and is more common in orchestra since it cuts through the orchestra a lot more easier than the B flat. The B flat trumpet is a trumpet that we're gonna work on our fundamentals and our technique. And in the other hand, the piccolo trumpet is one octave higher tessitura-wise than the B-flat trumpet, what gives it a lot of more higher overtones, and it gives it a very bright color. As you guys were able to hear, the piccolo trumpet presents more high overtones than the B-flat trumpet, and that's because the high register, while the B-flat trumpet keeps that darker tone since it's a much bigger trumpet. When we talk about arranging the trumpet is very versatile, and throughout the history, it's known that you can play as high as you can, as high as your lips would let you. But when it comes about the low register, the trumpet can only reach a low F sharp on B flat trumpet that to the ear will translate to a natural E. This is because all the notes below that point will be called pedal tones, and in order to achieve them, you're gonna have to actually lip in order to achieve these notes. That is the lowest note in the trumpet, the F sharp, and then below that will be pedal tones, and they're gonna be notes that you have to lip in order to get them. As you can hear, they don't have the same quality of sound, and that's because you are having to lip them with your mouth and trying to find the correct tuning with your mouth rather than with the piston, that is the conventionally the way we will do it throughout the register. Another way to alter the color of the trumpet is with mutes. Mutes, there is many types of them, but the most common ones are going to be the straight mute and the cut mute. The straight mute is an aluminum mute that produces a very nasal sound and is very cut through. Well, the cut mute is the same concept, but with a cup at the bottom that is going to allow us to make the color of the trumpet a lot more darker. Throughout time, there is known of people using hats and bags on the bell of the trumpet in order to darken the brightness of the trumpet. We can see that reflected in jazz a lot. And there is a solo in American in Paris that here in the United States, a lot of players every now and then they use a bag in order to alter the color. And this is kind of the result of it. As you guys can hear, the tone of the trumpet has already changed and it's a lot more dark than what it was without the bagging. The straight mute, like I said, it produces a very nasal sound. And the cut mute produces a very dark sound that is very beautiful and is very common in trumpet literature, solo literature. As you guys know, there is many more mutes, but the most common mutes for orchestra and classical music are gonna be these two. Contemporary music requires a little more mutes. The way we approach sound production on trumpet is through the vibration of the upper and lower lip, and we approach that through a buzzing. And this buzzing has to be supported with air in order to produce a sound on the trumpet. Articulation is also produced by our tongue and the mimic of the syllable ta. And we can produce this ta sound by placing the tip of our tongue where our gums and our teeth meet in order to articulate notes on the trumpet. There is other techniques as well as flutter tone. That is basically our tongue is fluttered throughout the note in order to create that effect. When we talk about glissandos, we don't have the same easiness as the trombones since they have a slide, or the horn since they have such a cylindrical shape. We have to do it with all valves, and it usually sounds like this. And we also have effects like the horse whine, that it sounds like a horse, that we approach that halfway, pressing our valves halfway through. It's very important to understand that trumpet is one of the most versatile instruments out there, and we don't only see it in trumpet. We can see it portrayed in many musical genres, such as reggae, classical music, jazz, rock, and even pop. Anyways, thank you guys for your time, and I hope you guys enjoy. Stay safe.